All right, chapter 14 is sentencing options. All right, so in this chapter, we distinguish between the five major sentencing philosophies, describe the three branches of the government, or how they are involved in sentencing, list these four of the major issues related to imprisonment as in the United States, and identify the three major alternatives in imprisonment. Summarize the Supreme Court's rulings on 1970s and the capital punishment, indicate how the courts were narrowed the list of death-eligible cases and offenders, and explain the difference between how the due process models of criminal justice, crime control module of justice with regard to the death penalty. All right, so why do we sentence for retribution, which hold individuals responsible for their actions? How do we sentence deterrence, so prevention of the future crimes, punishment that should fit the crime. You're gonna get charged. Just for example, if I just murder somebody, just because I want to murder somebody, compared to me defending myself and killing somebody, you're not gonna charge. You shouldn't get charged for the same crime. Or the same sentence. I shouldn't go to jail for 20 years each way, or 30 years for the rest of my life for committing those same crimes. Because first off, if I'm self-defending myself, it depends on the situation. That's self-defense. That's a lot different than just literally going out and killing somebody. Or if let's say let's say I just don't pay I didn't pay my not taxes, 'cause that's pretty big. But let's say I ran a red light or something and I didn't pay my ticket. Okay, compared to me killing somebody, I'm not gonna get the same sentence for that. If I kill somebody, I'm gonna get a higher sentence because that's a more serious crime than just not paying your ticket. Also, why we sentence is for rehabilitation, so treat rather than punish. So it's kind of where you're breaking the law. We see that you're breaking the law. We see that you have some issues or something like that, some problems, and instead of just trying to punish you for it, we try to work on fixing you. So if you ever I think rehabilitation is for those people who are getting out. Because if you're not getting out, what's the point, right? But if you're getting out of jail, they want you to be better to society, so they're trying to, not just punish you, but fix you at the same time. And there's also incapacitation, which assumes crime prevention, future-oriented, selective incapacitation, limitations, and focus on personal characteristics of offenders. So in other words, we are going to sentence them depending on the crime they've done, put them wherever, gender, crime, all that stuff. And also when we put them away, we're hoping that, we can, make society safer, and better. So also restoration, which seeks to replace retribution. So crimes that conflict between individuals. Crime is secondarily a violation of the government law. Principal aims the criminal justice system would repair these injustices or injuries. Criminal justice system should facilitate involvement of victims, offenders, and community. So we have a couple of people, titles that should decide and justify the sentence. That's legislative, executive, judicial, parole boards, and creating the sentencing options. So all these, they can decide of, depend on the type of crime and the situation. We could depend on, what their punishment should be, how long they should be put away, their sentence, etc. Also, for putting someone away, giving their sentence, we look at rehabilitative model, the due process model, and the crime control model. So, for responsibility of deciding the sentence, the governors, parole boards, the Department of Corrections, they carry out, the parole and, pardons if there's any. For sentences being imposed, there is the Eighth Amendment, which is cruel and unusual punishment. So, that's really important. Just in other words, if like I said before, if I commit a crime where if I didn't pay my tickets, I'm not going to be sentenced to life. That's a cruel and unusual punishment. If I kill somebody, I get sentenced for life. That's different. I guess I kind of, depending on the punishment, you have the punishment has to fit the crime you committed. Also, just talking about imprisonment, how expensive it is. You gotta feed them, you clothe them. I'm saying you bathe them, and just everything. It's just having running a prison is really, really expensive. The death penalty, capital punishment. Really, probably one of the most debatable punishments out there. Should you be killed for it, or you should not be killed? I guess it depends on the crime, situation, etc. And depends on the person's morality. So, it depends on your beliefs and your opinion. Eighth Amendment standards, Furman versus Georgia, Gregg versus Georgia for 1976. So, it displays, about the death penalty, was constitutional or unconstitutional, if it's valid or invalid. Also, for death penalty, there is Coker versus Georgia, Atkins versus Virginia. All right, so that wraps up the chapter 14, sentencing options.